All right, hello, welcome. And today we have already covered up trigonometric basics. So this is the second video on trigonometry where we will be covering about the other topics. In the first video, we have talked about Pythagorean theorem, what is trigonometry basically, and ratios and variation in angles, which is very, very important. Today, it would be about the other things around. For that, I would like to share my whiteboard quickly and give you the idea about on what are the other topics we are about to cover up. So let's start with that. So basically today's we need to understand about like how SOHCAHTOA is used, like how the ratios is used, and before that you need to understand about trigonometric table as well. So let's write down the heading first. Trigonometric. Basically, it is basically if you haven't watched this video, just go and watch first video of trigonometry, which is about measuring the side three side. When you talk about measuring three-sided figure, it's about trigonometry. Basically, that's what trigonometry is about. That's what you need to keep in mind first of all. Now, second thing is what we are covering up today. We already knew about Pythagorean theorem, as I mentioned to you. Pythagorean theorem, that's we already have discussed. Second is we have talked about ratios. That is what I will be telling you today, that how you can use these ratios, sine, cos and tangent, sine, cosine and tangent, to really make it work for you, and I mean how to use them in the in the real questions. And then variation in angles. So the third one is basically variation in angles, which we already have talked about in the previous video, just reminding what we have covered up. Now first is trigonometric table. You need to understand about trigonometric table, or exact values of trigonometry, basically the main values of trigonometric, because this is really important before you really do anything else further. So it's pretty easy. Basically, let's say these are predefined values that you should be aware about first of all. To As a trigonometric student, like a student who study trigonometry, you should really know about these values. 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree, and 90 degree means what are the values of these ratios at these specific degrees. Let's say we have sine, we have cosine, and we have tangent, obviously. So these are the values where we will be basically defining our specific values of these things. So for example, if we have at 0 degree, I have sine as 0. At 30 degree, it is 1 by 2. At 45 degree, it is root 2 by 2. At 60 degree, it is at 60 degree, it is uh 1 by root. Let me just write down here root 3 by 2 here specifically. This is root 3 by 2 here, and this is 1. Okay, these are the values of your trigonometry, like sine value. Like sine 0 is at 0, sine 30 is 1 by 2, sine 45 is root for 2 over 2. This is a rationalized value of at sine 45. Then 60 is root 3 by 2, and then 90 is 1. Similarly, cosine is just like reverse of sine. So whatever sine is at 90, cosine will be at uh 0. Whatever sine is at 60, cosine will be at 30. Whatever cosine is at let's say 45, it is same, basically same values here. Then this is 1 by 2, and this would be 0. So you can see how the values you get for cosine. So you basically have to learn the values of sine, which is very important, because yeah, there are some values which you should know as a student. But again, if the values come, like you have to find sine 43, for sine 23, sine 59, 49. For that you need to use the calculator, and that's totally fine also. That's not a big deal. And then you have 10. If you have to find out 10, you can divide the sine and cos together. Like 0 by 1 is 0, 1 by 0 is not defined. Whenever you divide anything by 0, you get the value not defined. Then if you divide 1 by 2 and root 3 by 2. If you don't know how to divide this, let me tell you again, as you are new students maybe. So you this division sign get change into multiplication. Because of that, this get reciprocal basically, and this will become 1 by root 3. Okay, so 1 by root 3 is the value of this here, and then this is maybe 1 only, and this is root 3 basically. So these are the values of trigonometric values basically, which are main values, and you use them with the help of ratios. And these values, you figure out a lot of new things, which is super important. So make sure you remember this thing, because yeah. So let's now understand about the other things quickly. So first thing is, let's say we have um, the three ratio that we were talking about, right? So again, if you don't know SOHCAHTOA, I told you in the last session about the SOHCAHTOA. So we have SOHCAHTOA quickly. TOA. SOHCAHTOA was about This was about, guys, sine. This is opposite, right? This was hypotenuse. Then you have cosine, which is basically cos, right? This is cos, this is adjacent values, and this is hypotenuse, and this is tangent. This is T for tan, O for opposite, and H for hypotenuse. Okay, these are the values that you should be knowing about. These are main ratios that we have. Now let's say what are the type of questions we need to know about here, with the help of which we actually figure out a lot of things over here. Let's say for example, guys, you have been given the value over here. Let me start with first thing over here. Let's say they have given you angle as theta as 30 degree and hypotenuse as 10. Okay, what they have given you? They have given you angle as 30 degree and they have given you hypotenuse is 10. Hypotenuse is equals to 10. So you have this triangle, and then you can have this as 30 degree and this is 90 degree. This is your hypotenuse. 10 has been given to you. They are asking you to figure out the they are asking you to figure out the opposite side. Let's say this is x. How will you find out this? So it's pretty simple to how to find out this kind of a thing. For that, what you can do, this is just opposite to it. This is opposite side, right? And this is basically hypotenuse, right? This is hypotenuse and this is opposite. So what you can do, guys, is you can just write down, because only one side is given, so you cannot apply Pythagoras theorem. Understand that you cannot apply Pythagoras theorem here. So with the help of, you see what has been given, opposite is given to you and hypotenuse is given to you. One, this relation is for what? Sine. So you will say sine here, and what is the angle given to you? 30 degrees. So 30 degree is equal, sine 30 is opposite over hypotenuse. So you will say sine 30 is what? Sine 30 is, I think, as we just discussed, 1 by 2. 1 by 2 is 0.5 basically. Like you just can do it from the calculator also. And then 30 degree again, opposite is x, and then hypotenuse is 10. So you cross multiply this and you get the value of x as 10 times 0.5, which is basically nothing but 5 centi. If the unit is given in centimeter, then whatever unit is, just write down that unit. Make sure to put that also, very important. That's one thing. How you, like, what type of usual questions can come, this is one of them. Then second is let's say maybe another question is here for us. Let's say this time second example number 2 we will take. Here we have angle as 60 degree given to you, and they have given you opposite side. Instead of hypotenuse of the angle, they have given you opposite to the angle as, let's say, something they have mentioned here, which is maybe uh, or let's say adjacent has been given to you, not opposite, because then that will make more sense to you. Adjacent is what again, guys? Adjacent is given to you as, let's say, maybe um let's say 4. Okay, this is the makeup question, so that's why I'm just thinking a bit. So this is 60 degrees, let's say, and in front of adjacent is just adjacent to it, like a neighbor adjacent to it, and 90 degree in front is this. So this is 60, this is 4. You have to find out your hypotenuse and you have to find out your opposite side. So let's say the hypotenuse and opposite is x and y, we will name it as that. Okay, that's the question. How will you find out? You see what has been given to you. You have to given to you adjacent. Adjacent over hypotenuse is what? Basically cosine. Cosine 60 degree is basically this, right? So cosine 60 has a value of again 0.5, which is 1 by 2, as I told you in the trigonometric table over here. If you just check over here, cos 60 degree is 1 by 2. So you can check, that's your choice, you can check it out. Then adjacent is what given to you? 4. Hypotenuse is not given, x. So you cross multiply x times 0.5 is equals to 4. So that gives you x as 4 divided by 0.5. So basically your hypotenuse will be now this time 8 basically, if you solve it. Like if you divide it from the calculator, then also if you're doing manually, then it would be 4. You can say divided by 1 by 2, which will be written as 4 times 2 by 1, which is basically 8, as I just showed you. And then again unit, if you have given the unit like centimeter or anything, then you can find out your y also. How do you find out your y here? Like what are the way to find out the y here? Again, the same thing, you need to see that what is your y basically here. How do you don't know that? Like what is your y means, like adjacent is given to you and opposite. So opposite over adjacent, if I do, that is basically the formula for what? If I write down adjacent here, it's basically 10, and 10 is what? 10 angle. Angle is what? 60 degrees. So 1060 is a value of, gives you the value of root 3. Root 3 is around 1.73. Then you need to multiply obviously 1.73 here. Opposite over adjacent, opposite is not given to you y, adjacent is 4. So you multiply 4 times 1.73, that would be giving you the value of y here. And 4.73 is 4 times 3 is 12, 1 carry, 4 times 7 is 28, 29, 2 carry, 4 times 1, 6.92 basically. You will get the value of y. So this is how you can figure out easily with the ratios and with the things as what is this, what is that, and you can use them specifically. Okay, this is a very very important topic guys that you should be knowing about. So for that reason I will be giving you this worksheet that you should be trying for the missing side as homework. I would say that if you will practice this, it will really help you out to understand a lot of things, and a lot of concepts will be clear to you. So you can pause the video and you can just go through this worksheet. Like you can see over here, let's for example the first question, but in this one you have to find out angles, you see. So in when you have to find out angles, it is different than from finding out the sides basically. So let me just give you the side one also here, because angle one we haven't discussed yet, right? So in this angle you have to find, let me just give you the side, this one, the other one. So let's say this is basically the question that I've explained you. That is, this one is for that reason. Okay, I'll just go with the angle ones also once, just one time more, so that you can get an idea about angle ones also quickly. Like this is angle one, this is the side one that I've been explaining. Now for the angles, like for example 35-degree, let's do one question of that only. Like the first question that they have given you for the side. So this is basically 9, like this is given to you, and this is 35. Now 35 is the value which you don't know. In that case what you can do, you can use calculator. For example, this is adjacent, right? And this is opposite. So opposite and adjacent, if you talk about, is basically nothing but 10. 10 degrees is 35 degrees. Now you might be thinking, "Wait, what is 10 35 degrees? We don't know the value of 10 35 degrees." So for that you need to use calculator, but first you can put up the values. 10 35 degrees, opposite is 10 centimeter and adjacent is x. So you just cross multiply x times 10 35 degrees is equals to 10. So x would be equals to 10 divided by 10 35 degrees. Now you might be thinking, what is 10 35? So you just open up your calculator quickly and do what is the value of your 10 35. So if you do 10 35 degrees, it is basically 0.700, and you have 10 divided by this, right? 7002. So 10 divided by 7, um 0.7002 is basically equals to 14.28. So basically your x come out to be 14.28. So in case of these kind of an angles, where the angles are not given to you, the predefined ones, then you need to do this kind of a apply this kind of a logic to solve the question, guys. I hope so that makes sense to you. Now these other questions are for your practice. You can practice, pause the video and practice all the questions from your end, and you can put up your answers. If I'll check your comments and I can just confirm your answers is correct or not correct, that we can do for sure, or we can discuss all the other questions also. But before that, I would like to discuss one or two questions how to find out the angles also. Like you see, in this you don't have to find out anything but the angle. So if you talk about the first A part, where this is the figure is easily visible to you like this. This is 90 degree, this is 6 centimeter, this is x, and this is 3 centimeters. Okay, so this is opposite, this is adjacent given to you. So again, opposite over adjacent is basically, you know already what it is, and it is 10, and then angle is x given to you. So 10x is equals to, opposite is what, 3, and adjacent is 6. So you do what again here? You do like, okay, so first of all 10x would be equals to what? 10x will be equals to 1 by 2, and 1 by 2 is 0.5, right? So you can write down here 0.5 first of all. Now when you basically try to bring this 10 to the other side, it becomes arc 10 we call, or we call it 10 inverse, a negative sign from it. We call it as 10 inverse or arc 10. On the calculator, main calculator, like there is an option called second. Okay, here there is an option of second. When you click on that second option, you will be getting 10 inverse option, 10 inverse in the calculator. You can just put up 0.5 there, that what is the value of that, and I got the value as 26.56. So that is my x degrees, basically my value. You can write down approx value of 27 or just 26. That also can work. But the important part is to how to find out. Sometimes in some calculator it has been given to you as arc 10 also. So make sure you use that way also. It is a very important concept. Next, I will be covering up the next few things. These are the questions for practice that you can do. I have shown you some of them. Thank you so much.